What's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is currently 7:52 a.m. Wednesday morning, January the 8th, 2025th, year of our Lord. Sorry, guys. This cold weather, it messes me up sometimes. But it's cold. It's a pretty day out here. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful day. It's bluebird, no clouds, no wind. Perfect day. And right now it's 21 degrees. The weatherman said it got down into the teens last night. I don't know if it did or didn't. I was asleep, man. I was sound asleep. But it's 21 degrees right now. Every last thing in sight is covered in frost. And my truck's been sitting here idling for about 45 minutes. And I've still got frost on my mirrors. And still got frost on parts of my hood too. But when you clean the leaves up in your yard, man, when you mulch everything up or do leaf removals on people's yards, man, the frost, it looks like a light dusting of snow. It's beautiful, man. It really is. It just looks like little bitty crystals out there shimmering on your yard. But anyways, guys, I want to holler at y'all for a second, especially some of you new guys, man. I've made the mistake over the past 3 years of letting people pay me by the month instead of per service. And when I was doing that, I didn't have contracts. And what I'm getting at is I would go and give people a quote, do a walk around of the property, give them a quote for everything they wanted, and they would agree to it face to face, and they would always text me back about 2 or 3 hours later, and they would say, "Hey, if I pay you this amount a month, will you trim my bushes however many times during the growing season and cut my grass bi-weekly from March to the end of November, and once a month December, January, and February?" That's actually where I got the idea from. And I would always look at it on the calculator or whatever, calculate everything up and make sure the prices were right. And there's only been one occasion to where I would actually be making less money if I let this person do monthly payments. I just flat out told them no, didn't even take the customer on. And as long as I was still making the right amount of money, I would go ahead and do it. But the problem with that is I didn't have contracts, didn't have nothing in writing or anything else like that. Now, I've talked to 2 lawyers, and they have told me that as long as you have it on a text message or email or whatever, as long as they agree to a price and a certain scope of work, then that is a legally binding contract here in the state of Georgia. Well, I'm not going to go through the hassle of hiring a lawyer, going through court and everything else to go through all that. It's just a headache. Well, that has come back to bite me so many times. You would think I would learn the first time. Well, it happened the first year, it happened the second year, and it came back and bit me big time this year. I know the golf course community I had over in North Augusta, South Carolina, I had 7 of them that were doing that, and one of them I lost big time. She had bushes that she wanted done every 1 or 4 times every year during the growing season, in the same format for mowing, bi-weekly from March through November, and once a month the rest of the year. Well, she kept us on for 1 month, and I had to help her throughout all this. She kept us on for 1 month. We mowed her property for a month and trimmed her bushes for a month. Now, keep in mind, if I was doing pay per service to trim her bushes, it would have been somewhere between $220 and $230. I can't remember the exact price that it was. I'd have to look, but we trimmed her bushes that month, and she let us go. She said she wasn't happy with the service. So I made a grand total of $30 for trimming her bushes. And like I said, I also had to pay my help to do that. But talked to her neighbors, and she said the neighbors have told me that she does that to everybody. She goes through 7 or 8 lawn care companies every single summer, and her yard looks like trash throughout the winter. So nothing of my fault on that. And the second time it happened over there, a customer got mad at me because I wouldn't put some mulch out for free. She went and bought 10 or 15 bags of mulch, however much it was, and it probably would have took us, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes to put it all out, and she expected us to do it for free. I told her we're not doing it for free. I gave her a price to do it, and it pissed her off, and she fired us. Well, we had cut her grass. I think we had worked over there for 2 or 3 months, and she wanted her bushes trimmed once a month. And I think the total for that would be like 120, 110, 120 bucks. I can't remember what it was. She had a decent amount of bushes too. And she fired us because of the mulch. And she was, so we trimmed her bushes 3 times. I don't remember how much money it was that I made off of it. It wasn't much. And keep in mind, I had to pay my helper to help me do that. So I lost a lot of money on both of those 2 properties, and it happened with several more customers over there, but the amount of money that I lost was not as significant as those 2. They don't stand out as much. And a lot of times people don't understand, unless they sign on a piece of paper, people don't understand what a legally binding contract is, and they think they can just get out of it. Well, it happened to me about 2 weeks ago. A customer that I had, he was signed up year round, and he asked me if he could, he texted me and told me he was skipping out on January and March because he moved back to Florida. I'm sorry, January and February, because he moved back to Florida. His contract started in March. What do? So my advice to all of you is, unless you have it written down in a signed document, a contract, you need to take paper service. Do not let customers talk you into doing monthly payments unless you have it on a contract. And the reason being is because you're going to, sooner or later, you're going to lose a good bit of money. And I have realized, it is better to not work in the winter at all than to try to have people year round and end up losing money for doing services that you're not getting paid for. So just keep that in mind, guys. Moving forward, everything for me in 2025 on, I actually started it at the end of this past year, but from now on, everybody I pick up will be under contract, and it is monthly payments. And I've went through all that with y'all before. Told you what the new minimum is and the scope of work and everything. It's basically going to be property maintenance on every single property I do. It's complete property maintenance, nothing less, and the minimum is going to be $200 a month, and it will be contract, and it will be card on file too. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you're not doing paper service, if you're doing monthly payments, make sure you get it in writing. Make sure you get it on a signed document and have it as a legally binding contract. That way you don't lose money. And also, guys, if you're starting out, you probably don't have a CRM or anything like that. You're probably just keeping up with everything on a piece of notebook paper or a filing cabinet or whatever. I highly recommend just doing paying per service, man. I mean, there's, in paper service, it's self-explanatory, but for those of you who don't know, you cut somebody's grass, you get paid for it. You trim somebody's bushes, you get paid for it, and you get paid for it at the time that the services are rendered. But once you get your feet under you and you start to get things figured out a little bit, get you a CRM. I have a CRM. It's Yardbook. I use the free version of Yardbook, and it really has been a game changer. It's taken a lot of stress off of my wife and myself, and it routes all of my customers for me. It keeps me updated on who is and who isn't behind on their payments, and I can send out emails to everybody at one time if I want to. It's so much better, man. And it's also electronic payment. But anyways, guys, just wanted to share that little bit of information with you. Do whatever it takes to look out for your business and look out for yourself, because if you wind up losing money, if you lose too much, you're going to wind up going out of business. So make sure you're getting paid for everything you do, guys. But anyways, I'm gonna hop off here. Just wanted to share that with y'all. And man, I hope y'all have an amazing day. I hope y'all stay warm, man. It's cold as hell out here. But look, man, till the next one, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holler at y'all. Bye.